All right, we're live. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're just going to wait a few minutes for some folks to show up. We got Eric here today. Super pumped. We're in the same space in terms of helping these guys. So it'll be really cool to see how we both do it in a different way, but the same way.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, how are you doing today? What's new? Tell me something good. Share a win with me.
Yeah, doing great. We've got one of our in-person boot camps going on right now. So we've got, I think, 40 or 50 customers downstairs in the conference room getting all trained up, and they're going to be coming upstairs in, I don't know, maybe like 2 hours or so for a happy hour. So get to hang out with them some more.
Very cool. I love that little connection time too. What do you guys do in the boot camp?
Yeah, so it's pretty much like a 2-day kind of all the basics. Anna, does a really awesome job walking all of our new customers through, kind of starting with the CRM, the estimating, then she goes into scheduling, kind of all the job management, financial management, and then ultimately ends up with all the accounting, the fun stuff, the invoices, bills, how it sinks into QuickBooks. But it's a jam-packed 2 days. Usually people walk out with their head swimming a little bit and feeling a little overwhelmed, but it seems to be a great way to, just have some undivided, 2 days up and going, and they usually walk away with JobTread up and running. So it's pretty awesome.
That's cool. Let me get, I want to post the banner here for everyone so they can check out the site. So let me add that real quick. Bam. There we go. Check it out.
Fancy.
All right, cool. All right, awesome. So I'm going to get us going, do a little intro here, and looking forward to having some folks show up. I'm sure some of your customers will show up, which will be awesome. It's always good to hear it from the source, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the We Love Deck Builders podcast. I'm your host, April Edwards, and this is your go-to place for everything about mastering the business side of deck building. Today, I'm telling you, we've got a special episode for you. You know how we always talk about working on your business, not in it, right? So if you've ever felt like your business is running you, juggling estimates, tracking jobs and sticky notes, using spreadsheets, chasing payments, this episode is for you. So today I'm sitting down with Eric Fortenberry, founder and CEO of JobTread. It is a leading construction management software that is helping so many deck builders like you get organized, grow profits, and more so reclaim time. So we're going to dive into the biggest operational mistakes that hold deck builders back, and how to know when it's time to systematize, and how using tools like JobTread can help you scale without all the chaos. So if you're ready to go from stressed out operator to confident CEO of your deck business, stay tuned, because this one is packed with gold. So let's dive in. Eric, hello. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on, April.
We got Haney Construction here. Holy cow, you landed Eric. Great booking, apes. Homie's rad. So we'll put that there so everyone can see. So that was a good way to start it, huh?
Yeah, good to see you, Haney.
Glad to have the handsome Viking here, as always.
Yep.
So Eric, I love stories, and you've got a pretty amazing one. You are so accomplished in everything that you've done, particularly in the past couple of years. How many customers do you guys have now?
We're over 5,500 now.
Crazy. And you guys have a very hands-on approach with onboarding and stuff too, right? We'll go into more detail about that, but you guys really spend a lot of time with your customers, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We love helping them. It's kind of one of the things is just making sure we provide a great customer experience. I think that starts at the very beginning. Even in the sales process, really. I mean, we take as much time as you need to walk through and see how the product would work. Kind of gives people an idea of kind of what it might look like in their business, but kind of showing them through a demo account. And then once they get signed up, every single customer gets to work with one of our dedicated customer success managers, and so they'll be their point of contact throughout the entire process. Anytime they have questions, need any help, they can schedule one-on-ones or even hop into their office hours. So we're very available, but I think probably the best thing is all of the live training that we do every single day. We've got a phenomenal training team that, Anna Hunter she's the head of that team. She actually has a doctorate degree in organizational change management and leadership. And so she's put together a phenomenal curriculum to help builders to be able to really learn the ins and the outs and be able to kind of make the process improvements and the system changes that they need to get JobTread up and running as quickly as possible.
You might not want to promote Anna too much there. I think we all need an Anna.
I know. Yeah, she's phenomenal.
And you guys have the JobTread Connect, right? You've been doing that the last couple of years.
Yep. So in January, we do it every January. So I love kind of the very beginning of the year. Let's get everybody together. Let's kind of have a reset, celebrate last year, but get ready for the new year. We just had, I guess it was our third year. We actually sold out. We had 1,000 people came. I thought the venue, which we had to each year, we have to keep getting a bigger venue. I'm hopeful one of these years we'll be able to reuse the same venue. It'll save us a little bit of time and design effort and everything. But we
good problem to have, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's take a step back. So story time. Tell us, so for those that don't know you, share a bit about your background and how you started JobTread.
Yeah, sure. So I guess it was sold my first company in 2015. After that, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, kind of tinkering around with a bunch of different ideas, and ended up, as my wife likes to remind me, ended up hanging out and drinking a little bit too much in the front yard with my outdoor living contractor. And she was awesome at her trade, did really great work. But ultimately, when I went kind of into the back office and started helping her, kind of looking behind the scenes, it was just total chaos. I thought she wasn't invoicing me because she valued all of the advice and the consulting I was giving her there. And turns out she just had no idea who was getting invoiced and who wasn't. Total mess. Everything was paper based. Just like literally just papers walking in the door, bills and everything just on the wrong job. Like she had no idea. I was continuing to grow the business on the top line, but just couldn't make any money for the life of her. I helped her get set up on QuickBooks. Then we got another software set up there and kind of had some frustrations getting that one going. But I saw firsthand, the impact that, getting systems and processes in place, for her business was just so beneficial. And it really helped her to get organized and know her numbers and figure out where she was losing money. It actually, really sad story, turned out that her own crews were actually robbing her. They were over purchasing materials at one store, and then after the job, they'd go return it for store credit at another. And then we found out there was another crew literally selling her own inventory out of her warehouse on the weekends. And it took doing the job costing and actually starting to tie in, where all the money was going to be able to uncover this. Is really sad. I hate seeing that for anyone, and unfortunately, I've heard that story more times than I would, but. It was shortly after that, a buddy of mine who was running a construction company, he's like, "Hey man, will you come over and help me figure out how to scale my business?" They were a little bit farther along, about 5 years in, doing $5 million in revenue. So, had kind of gotten over the 1 million, the 2 million, but they were just hitting this glass ceiling and struggling to break through with that. And I went in, it was like deja vu all over again. The whole papers everywhere, binders, like literally timesheets walking in the door, getting put into folders, and they're printing off every bill that they got, and waiting for the project manager. Whenever he came in, he would come in and like initial them, and then someone would manually type it into this spreadsheet, and then it'd get copied over to this spreadsheet, and then eventually entered into QuickBooks, and it was just like total chaos. Like I was just like, guys, like, well, yeah, I see the issue.
Eric, stop! You're stressing them out.
Yeah, so it was very apparent. I was just like, look, guys, this is easy. All you need to do, let's find some software. We'll get you some systems set up, and hopefully that can kind of get you on your way. And I did a deep dive into all the construction management software out there. And at the end of the day, like I struggled to make a recommendation for them because I felt like there was, it was either super, complicated, convoluted. It was going to take a lot to customize and implement, or very expensive. And so I struggled to make a recommendation for them. And they're like, well, you're a software guy. Can't you just build us something? It's like, whoa, hold on. Not trying to take on a full-time job here. And, not really, they weren't really equipped to manage it, even if I did build them something. But, I got to thinking, and my wife's like, man, Eric, you need to go do something. You're just, sitting here at the house, getting bored and whatever. And so, I ended up going back and I agreed. I told him, I was like, look, here are my 3 conditions. 1, I take over as CEO. 2, I give you 1 year of my time. And 3, everything I build is my intellectual property. So if at the end of this 1 year, this has the potential to become my next software company, then I could go and I could do that. And they agreed, made me partner CEO. And so, basically took over the business, and, I built JobTread out of a needs basis, while running this construction company. And I think that was like extremely beneficial for me to literally go and, shadow the estimators, understand their processes, their challenges, their bottlenecks. I learned the hard way the difference between markup and margin. We were targeting a 30% profit margin, but the guys were only marking up their cost 30%, which, will only get you a 23% profit margin. So we're just like literally shooting ourselves right in the foot right out of the gate, like no chance to hit our target profit margin. And then, but getting to focus on, the operations side, the scheduling, managing all the crews, getting the work done. And then, ultimately on the back office, kind of all the accounting, the accounts payable, accounts receivable. I mean, I saw so many different challenges in so many areas of the business that it was just just so overwhelming, the chaos that each one of these different areas had, that, we were able to really come in and kind of systematize and build out specific features and processes to help them better manage all of these aspects of a construction project from the very get-go of estimating all the way through to completion. In that short year, we grew the business from 5 to 8 million in sales, and we increased their gross profit by 43%. So that's how I knew. I was like, all right, this is too good to leave sitting here with just this one company. And we started JobTread in 2019.
Oh, guys. Okay. Microphone just dropped. I mean, that's your business. JobTread was based off of an amazing case study.
Exactly.
Go from 5 to 8 million just by really hunkering down on your operations, right? And finding the leaks and putting a system in place in order to even do that in the first place. And boy, I really feel sorry for your friend there that had to deal with all that. But wow, it's you're kind of like a hero in that whole situation. You should feel really proud. And I'm a faithful person, and I feel like that you were just born, and your whole story just sounds like you were meant to have all of those steps to get you here. And that's just really incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to say, Haney here, we got another one from him. He said, JobTread has hands down the best customer support I've ever worked with. And yeah, Anna Hunter is amazing. Not trying to fluff Eric's nuts any, but he knows she's amazing.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
It was interesting though. It's kind of like I've seen the same chaos in so many people's business, right? Like they tell you, they're just like, man, like we're literally just firefighting every fire to the next fire, and it's like, that's not how it has to be, right? Like, we can help you get organized and be able to not have to fight those fires if you kind of set your foundation right and you build out the right teams and the right processes. Hopefully you can kind of nick those things in the bud before they even take off into big wildfires.
Yeah. So I'm really curious. Tell me, maybe tell me a little bit more about what somebody's life looks like before, which I feel like you've painted a great picture already, and then what it looks like afterward. Like if you have a case study of a typical deck builder that starts working with you, what does that look like?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that probably the number one thing that I hear from deck builders is just, time and time again, it's the speed that they're able to deliver their estimates, and not just like, getting an estimate out the door. It's a very accurate estimate is the night and day difference. I mean, so many times, and again, there's, decks are a hot item right now, especially over the last several years. I mean, it's something when all these other contractors learn about decks, they're like, oh my gosh, why am I doing all this work interior and, tearing out kitchens and bathrooms and trying to do it while the family's living there? Like, I could just go outside and I could be making my, 50+% profit margin. I'm in and out. It's, such a better life, but like at the same time, it's, when you start getting all of these estimate requests and this high volume, sometimes in some markets, it can become very challenging for, the builders to be able to like turn those around in a timely manner. And so, again, I think what everyone knows is, customers buy from people they like, people they trust, people who are responsive, easy to work with. And, I've heard countless stories about the people who, once they get JobTread implemented, they get it dialed in, they build out their budget templates where they essentially can, come in and just kind of key in a few key parameters, whether, square feet, number of decks, some add-ons, give the customer some optional upgrades, things like that. Like they can literally go out on the job site, plug in those numbers, have that estimate just churned out right away, and then sit down and work with the homeowner to make those selections, kind of which, do we want the good, better, best? Do we want, the upgraded railing? Do we want the stairs, the lighting packages? All like they literally can do that on the first call, and then immediately, get the deal signed, take that prospect right off the market, sign the deal, collect the deposit, however many weeks later they come in, they're starting the build. And so I think like it's the speed at which they can estimate with such accuracy, because they've taken the time to set up all of those templates and leveraging formulas to be able to very accurately, like to the board, calculate the material takeoff that they need and the labor that it's going to take. I mean, it's just been pretty awesome to see some of the guys who have really dialed it in and how quickly they can do that.
You made me think of, so I started off building websites back in the day, and I read this book called Don't Make Me Think.
Love it.
And that's kind of what you're saying is like, we got enough things going on. Like we want to have the creative conversations with the client. Like, don't make me think about all this estimating stuff. And I think you also integrate catalogs into your software, right?
Yep. So we have the decorators and the timber tech catalogs that are available. I think though, like kind of to your point though, with the whole don't make me think, like, what's really interesting, right? Like you want to get the prospect sitting there debating, like, do I want, this color board or that color board, instead of, do I want to build this deck or do I want to go with this contractor? And so like as quickly as you can get them into that process and start showing them their options and really help them to visualize, what this backyard would look like with this new fancy deck, like you've already kind of like gotten over that first hurdle of like, well, are we going to do this or not? And now we're like getting down into those decision points, into those weeds. Like, I think that's like such a helpful step to be able to take as quickly as possible. And it just, again, like you got to kind of get them like having those much better, do we want this board or that board, this color or that color? Those are the kind of those things where like you start to see them light up and get really excited. And I think, the quicker you can do that, the helps progress that deal a lot faster.
Yeah, I always say like everything you do, you have to be controlling the narrative. And if you're spending so much time, on pricing and stuff like that, you're not getting to the exciting part.
Yeah.
So how many hours, I wonder, does a deck builder save every week, probably by using the software? I mean, I know that certain deck builders, obviously have a lot more business than others, but I have to imagine there's a minimum or an average time saved by using it.
I mean, I had Jamie Carlson from Hard Deck on a webinar or something like that. Maybe it's, I don't know, 6 months ago or so. But he was saying something like, I mean, it went from like hours to like minutes. And he actually, it's like a little bit too quick, so that he goes back out to his truck. He just sits out there for 5-10 minutes and he comes back out, just so they think he did something. And he just very very quickly can churn these out. Now I think at the same time that there's definitely a handful of other builders who I know they will actually, their goal will be to get the customer to, sign, kind of a design agreement or kind of go into, some sort of agreement. So they're still taking them off the market, but then they'll go back and they'll do a full design, kind of get some drawings. And then they come back with an extremely detailed, proposal and quote and kind of all the material takeoff, and so like there's, it doesn't have to be the one call close, if you will. I do think there's different sales strategies and techniques, and, kind of just works, kind of based on your market and the size of job and type of job that you want to do.
Yeah, but I would say no matter what, it really, and I mean, one thing that we try to do at Deck Builder Marketers is not try. I mean, it's the main thing that we're doing is making them look pro. And so like having these, I mean, first of all, your UI is amazing. And I know your proposals and estimates look spot on. And so for them to receive that, I mean, they just show me, like, help the audience understand. I think it comes through via email and like, it's super pro.
Yeah, no, we actually just added a whole bunch more kind of design features, if you will, to the proposals, where you can now have like, full cover pages, and like you can select either, kind of whatever showcase work, you want to have, or if you wanted to take their existing, photo of their house, their deck, or kind of whatever it is and slot that in there, you can. But you can even insert your own kind of design collateral. Some people like to have sort of a bunch of the marketing, fluff, if you will, before you get into the meat and potatoes of the proposal. You can now insert all of that in there and have, your full contract. I think probably one of the neatest things about our proposals, though, is it's interactive. And so like it actually gives you the ability to allow the customer to make their own selections and even upsell themselves. Like, you can say, hey, you have to pick one, here's the good, better, best, or you could say, hey, here's a whole bunch of optional upgrades, the lighting packages, the, different kind of things that you can add that like they could pick 0 to however many. So it's like, it's just such a great tool because oftentimes, the homeowners aren't, you never know what their real budget is, right? What they tell you might not be the full thing, but when they actually get in there and controlling it themselves, more often than not, they're like, you know what, if we're going to do this, let's just go ahead and go all the way. We've got the built-in homeowner financing right there, which kind of breaks it down to what it would be on a monthly basis if you were to finance it. And so they're like, for an extra $20 a month, we could add this thing on and that thing on. It's just such a great tool to allow the homeowners to like upsell themselves, and you don't have to be that pushy salesman anymore. It's that interactive where, look, if they chose the high end selections and it's out of their budget, cool, no problem. You just gotta, downgrade a couple of those. Like it's no longer about, hey, I'm gonna haggle you for a discount. It's like, hey, just choose whatever's within your budget. We're happy to build whatever you want. I think it gives them that control and a little bit more feeling of, kind of, hey, let's do what's right for us. And we're not just being sold the most expensive thing.
Yeah, I mean, consumers want to be in control. So I think there's two things I want to touch base on there. The first is just really everyone listening, the power of increasing your revenue by optimizing your operations and your processes. I mean, Eric just said that, these interactive proposals alone could possibly give you more return, a higher project price by letting them choose. So that's pretty important, and I think a really good takeaway. And then the second is really the power of having a process in place. And so I know a lot of our clients that use your software, and I appreciate this. So as a homeowner and a consumer, to understand when you're going to invest thousands of dollars on something, what the process looks like helps ease my mind a lot more. And so a lot of people take pride in the process that they have. And a lot of that has to do with the software. So let's touch base a little bit more on some of the other process type of features after they've won the project. What does it look like?
Absolutely. And I see all the time now where builders are, they're using the software to really sell the deal. And it's not just the proposal, but it's just like what you said. It's the fact that like, hey, we have a process, this client portal where you're going to be able to access everything. You can see, hey, when we're scheduled to come out, where we're at. You can, sign off on all your documents, your contracts, make your selections. You can pay your, pay your invoices right here. We're going to upload, daily logs and share the photos. Like it just gives this full transparency to the homeowner. And I feel like in this day and age, like, there are those contractors out there who, a small few of them, but they have given the industry a bad rap because people fear that they're going to get one of these fly-by-night contractors who's going to come, take their money and run. And so by being able to showcase, hey, look, here was this last deck we did. Here's what that customer portal looked like. Here was the experience. Here's how we're going to share all of this information. This is going to be a very transparent, very collaborative process. Like that in and of itself is so much value. That again it's not the deck and the cost of the deck per se. It's this is what you're going to get. This is the experience that you're going to have working with our customer, or working with our with our company. That is so much value and power for the contractors, and it just gives so much reassurance and peace of mind to the homeowner when they know that it's not going to just be this like I'm going to write you a check and then I'm just going to hope and pray that my deck shows up. It's no, we're going to keep you involved in the process.
Yeah, like you're not going to have to project manage us, which is a big deal because that takes a lot of time and anxiety. And so it's the ability to say up front, no, like we're going to hold your hand every step of the way in the process. And you're not going to have to check in with us because we're proactively going to do that with you. And that's a big deal. That's amazing. You guys, this is how you get referrals, is implementing things like this in order to create the best customer experience possible.
Absolutely. And I think too, it's both. It's great not only for the homeowner, but it's also great for the contractor. Like, you need to be collecting, the before photos, the during photos, and the completion photos, and you need to just archive it and have it in one place. Like, you never know when something's going to come back later, a warranty call or some other, claim that, may have nothing to do with what you've been doing, but like, it gives you that central place where everything has been documented. Every decision, all the communication, any issues, the homeowner can directly message right through that portal, and you can address it right then and there. And you create this documentation trail that's just great protection, for you and for the homeowner. It just keeps everybody on the same page.
Yeah, so good. And I'm sure you guys are coming out with new features all the time. I have to imagine. I mean, the more customers you work with, the more information you collect and can see how you can improve it. How do you guys go about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think unlike a lot of companies, that we are extremely transparent with, our feature requests, kind of how we manage our development. Like, we directly in the app, we have a feature request board where people can go in and they can search for all the existing feature requests. They can upvote them or they can submit new ones. And basically the ones that rise up to the top, that is, very heavily taken into account when we prioritize the projects in our development roadmap. At the end of the day, like, we want to make sure that we are doing the things that are going to make the biggest impact for all of our users. Not, some companies, where they kind of price, based on, you get so many features in this tier and that tier. And then, they just kind of shifting the features from bucket to bucket to try to make more and more money. Everything that we build and we do, we want everybody to have access to it. And that allows us to also make sure we're developing the things that are going to make the biggest impact, not just the things that, are going to make us the most money on the highest paying customers. I think it's so important that we build JobTread collaboratively as a community. We very much, like, our team doesn't have to solve all the problems anymore. We don't have to, figure everything out alone. We have this massive community of JobTread pros. Our Facebook group has, like, I think it's like over almost 6,000 people in it now, where we can just, like, get so much great feedback. And then Anna, we host, like, think tanks. We have people, like, we have the ability to give people kind of features while we're developing it, where they can test it out in their own production. And, like, it's just so helpful to build this, like, as a collaborative, community. And that's really what has helped us to grow as quickly as we have, is that, we're not just kind of off on a silo and then we come and push something out and then get a bunch of feedback. Like, we do it throughout the entire process.
Yeah. And that's so important. So I went to art school. I'm going to go on like a tangent here, but I went to art school, and what was really great about the professors is that they were actually, so I did commercial art, and they were in the field. Like, they were still, doing that and then teaching kind of on the side. And that's important in order to kind of stay up to date with what's going on and to be able to teach with, things that are up to date. And so it's great that you're doing that, because you guys can only go so far unless you're out in the field and, like, doing everything. You're not going to necessarily be able to understand the problems to the level that the actual customer would. So, guys, for everyone listening, it's up to you. If there's something you want, they're going to listen. All you have to do is vote for it, and tell all of your friends too. I've done that in the past too, like with my team, like with different, because we use all kinds of software. I'm like, okay, like, we need this feature, so everybody go and vote for it, and tell everybody that you know to vote for it, and then here it comes out and available. And then it's pretty cool. It sounds like you have some people, maybe they're more of a squeaky wheel in a good sense, that you roll out beta features to. So that's pretty cool. And then you could get the feedback, right?
Yep. And everyone who votes, like, we see everyone who's voted on those features, and it's the people that provide kind of the most feedback, and, we can tell have really put a lot of thought into this, and, like, we see how much of an impact it'll make. I mean, those are the ones that we rope in, earlier on. But yeah, certainly some of the people have figured out that they can go create a post on the Facebook group and kind of get a bunch of people riled up. And I mean, certainly, that does help get traction and work. But, I think at the end of the day, I mean, it's such a large, user base now. I mean, it's like, I don't know, almost 40,000 users, where it it kind of works itself out. The things that are the most important just sort of rise to the top. And I think that's been really, just a great process and a great system for us to be able to make sure we're prioritizing the right things.
You've built such a great company. Haney Construction is still here. He said, breakdown and ability to show options, clicking things on and off helps sell the multi-figure project that I'm currently bidding. That and great renderings, but everyone has a budget that has to be respected.
That's awesome.
It's good to hear. Yeah, it's good to hear that feedback. So let's paint a picture for some of the listeners. Okay, you and I'm going to say you and I are going to say immediately. Okay, we're both going to answer that question and say like yesterday is when you should have done it. But when can a builder tell when it's time to stop relying on spreadsheets and sticky notes and start systematizing to a tool like JobTread?
Obviously, I would say, pretty early on. I mean, being able to build a scalable business requires you to have a very solid foundation to build upon and to scale. I mean, there's no reason to scale, something that, is just very manual. It's cumbersome. It's, error prone, so I do think pretty early on. I mean, at the end of the day, I start to see when people are kind of going from just, selling one job, building that deck, selling the next job, building that deck. It's when they start to get into a little bit higher volume. They're needing to be able to manage the whole estimating, the inbound lead flow, that when that starts to pick up, that's where kind of the chaos can start. Because, when you work with a great marketer, such as you all, the leads will come. There's no doubt that you can get the leads in the door. But the question is, how do you handle it from there? And if you want to be the contractor that closes all of those leads, you have to be able to be very responsive and be able to churn those proposals out, and you got to do it, again, where it's accurate, and that you're not going to just, come up with some number just to get the bid out and then, have no idea how you're going to perform. I mean, you have to be able to accurately do that. And I think that's when the chaos starts to happen. But then even worse is when you start winning all those jobs and now you don't have, the crews or the ability to actually, get the job scheduled. When the homeowner's like, hey, well, when can you start? And you have no idea. Well, now you're having to coordinate. Often you need to start growing the number of crews that you have. You may have to start bringing in subcontractors, and eventually you bring them on full time, once they're great. But like at some point, like you're now sort of forced with all of this inbound lead flow that's converting. Well, now you got to deal with the actual execution and the operations side. And that's where, again, having the ability to see all of your jobs and schedule them all out so that you have a good idea of when you can actually get there. I see some builders are scheduling, 6-9 months out, and that is a little bit of a ways to have to wait. And so to the extent that you can kind of better manage your resources, as well as understand like what is your capacity and what could you do, what can you take on another crew right now, could you bring on someone else, like being able to really have that dialed in can help you make sure that you're hiring and building out your team at the right speed so that you don't overhire, but like that you can hire and you can scale the business. I mean, I think that's kind of the key between being able to take this higher lead flow, convert it, and then deliver, all while providing a great customer experience. And the sooner you can kind of get to that problem, and then have that solution. I mean, that's the big turning point, right? Like that's when you go from, $100K a year to, now we're 500, now we're $1 million, now we're doing a couple million. I mean, I've seen this time and time again, and it's not, there's really not this like, magical thing of what happened. It's as soon as they got their marketing dialed in, they got a great website, they have a great marketing process, and then they have the sales skills and techniques and the ability to close, and then the ability to deliver that exceptional customer experience that you just sold. Like that's it. It's really not that much more complicated. And it's just how long it takes you to kind of realize you need to put all those building blocks in place. I mean, I've seen people come out of the gate swinging, doing over $1 million their first year.
Yeah, that's amazing. But business, definitely, I like that you say building blocks, because it's not like you're able to like perfect everything all at one time. Like you work on one area, and then you kind of graduate to the next, and then the next, and then you kind of go back and refine. And I mean, it all changes at different points in your growth, in terms of where you really need to focus. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the other features. I mean, you guys have invoicing in there, right? And
Oh, yeah.
do you have things that like will help the builder understand how weather might impact their turnaround times or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, so everything. I mean, the invoicing for sure. So you can collect, upfront deposit. I mean, I highly recommend everyone, collect something. I'm very big proponent. You need to collect upfront and along the way. Do not wait till the end of your job to invoice the client. Like you're literally putting all of your eggs, and you're putting all of the risk right there. Make them pay something if they're not comfortable prepaying for labor, which is probably the biggest sort of hesitation I hear with prepayment. Then fine, just invoice them for the material. Tell them, the materials you'll put right there on their property, on the job site. But like, you got to know, how are you going to get paid, and make sure that you've already established that, you can pay directly through JobTread with credit card, ACH. You can, have them pay through QuickBooks, however you want to do it. If they pay you with a check, great. All of that is linked up, and we keep that in sync with, with QuickBooks. But there's, again, it's all the scheduling features, being able to schedule and kind of manage, like if you need lead time for certain materials, like, you'll know which ones are special order. And obviously that might take an extra week, 2 weeks, however long, depending on where you're located and what material it is. Like, you're going to need to bake that into the schedule. And so, again, maybe there's another job that you can start sooner. You get that knocked out, and then you push out a job based on the material. Like, this is where being able to have the Gantt chart and the scheduling tools lets you kind of orchestrate the whole scheduling of multiple jobs, which, again, great problem to have, right? We want to be figuring out where and when to start each job versus, hey, when's the next job coming? I think the whole, being able to capture the photos, right there, the daily logs, like the home progress. I actually just had our backyard redone. We put in a pool and some other things, but like, basically being able to be part of that process. And at the end of every day, I saw the photos, I saw the project manager's notes of what was being completed, what was done. It really made us feel so much more part of the process. I quit having to call and ask, hey, who's coming out? When's this going to be done? Like, I could check the schedule myself. I could see what was happening, when they expected the completion to be done. I knew that, the payment schedule, I knew when I was going to be expected to make payments, and I, prepared for that. And so, I think that, those are some of the great features. We did just add on-screen takeoff. So if you do have a full-blown set of designs and plans, you can actually upload those directly to JobTread. And then you can, like, kind of draw right on the plans to measure kind of any of the dimensions, the lengths, all that type stuff. I know a lot of people have really been loving the new hover integration, where you can actually use hover to kind of go and, scan the exterior. And then that directly, we just suck the measurement data right out of those scans there, which is really, really cool. But yeah, we keep adding things. Got some really cool dashboards coming in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, it's nonstop fun, man. I think if you go to jobtread.com/product updates, like, you can see how active we are at continually putting out new features based on our customers' request.
Look how jazzed you are. I love it.
Oh,
I mean,
man,
you've got the
love
passion. It's so good. Yeah, what's next for JobTread?
We're just gonna keep building a great company. I mean, at the end of the day, we're very focused on construction businesses. We want to stay true to our core, stay focused right there on that. It's continuing to enhance the product. I mean, at the end of the day, our biggest challenge is continuing to create awareness, to scale. And we've got, I mean, I think last month we brought 650 new customers on, so it's like very crazy growth that we're having to handle. But it's hiring as quickly as we can, keep building out our teams here, our customer success team, customer trainers, support teams, and it's our developers continuing to add those features that everybody's asking for. And yeah, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and keep building a great company, great culture, and excited to add a tremendous amount of value to the market, and helping more and more contractors. I mean, I think at the end of the day, this is like what this is kind of how I'm able to give back and pay it forward, if you will. I mean, I've already had my first sale and exit, and at the end of the day, this is just this platform that we've created so that we can help thousands of other entrepreneurs, business owners to be successful, to build successful businesses that will scale and that will scale profitably, because otherwise, what are you doing it for, right? I mean, it's a whole lot of time, it's a whole lot of effort. You need to be putting money, in your pocket, being able to spend more time with your family, your kids, and feeding the people who are working for you, and paying them well, making sure that everybody's getting taken care of, and doing a great job for the customer. I mean, it's so important that everyone can win in the whole process here. And that's kind of what we're looking for, is just keep creating those win-win scenarios where everybody benefits, everybody wins, and you deliver great products and great customer experiences. I think the whole cycle is very beautiful when you get it all set up and running well.
Well, I think we just got a new video for the homepage of JobTread with everything you just said and your passion really shining. That was so beautiful. I'm like, I don't even want to say anything else because like we need to just stop there. But of course I like to talk, so I'm going to keep going because I want people to know about JobTread Connect. I have to tell you, Eric, I'm gonna boost you up a little bit here, but people are pretty pumped about what you're doing there. I mean, I hear a lot of people that are like, well, I'm just investing my time and energy into that conference and nothing else. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit more about what they could expect there?
Yeah, so it's it's our annual user conference, and we did this at my last company. So we're definitely a well-oiled machine at putting this on. But our first year we did it, we had no idea if anybody was going to show up at all. We rented out the hotel next to our office, and I think we ended up having like 175 people show, which, really excited. It was cool. We had, I think, maybe like, I don't know, 10 vendors came. So it's a really, really awesome, first turnout. The second year we did it, we had, we sold out the hotel at 500 people. I think we had like 20 exhibitor sponsors came and helped us put it on. Last year was our third year doing it. We sold out, tapped out at 1,000 people. We had like 45 sponsors at the show, and so it's just like, again, the whole premise of this is a 3-day, and full-blown intensive conference where you're going to hear from, not really, it's not like a JobTread training type event. It's, we bring the best JobTread contractors and people who can help you learn. They share their experiences. They're walking through how they use JobTread. They walk through how their marketing works, how their sales process, how they hire people, how they build culture. Like, we want this conference to be, for the industry, by the industry, where people can learn and share and grow together is the whole point. And I think it's super neat that it's not just, deck builders or pool builders or home builders or remodelers. There's such a great kind of mix of all of these contractors and builders coming together. And I can't tell you the number of times people had no idea I would be able to learn from, a pool builder or a home builder or a GC, how that could impact how I build decks. But like, it's so neat to see how there's so much transferable knowledge, from industry to industry, trade to trade. At the end of the day, though, the fundamentals of managing construction projects, they're all very similar. There's not like super, vast differences. It's the type of work you do and maybe, how long it takes and the size of the project, but like the fundamentals are all there. And so like, it just gives people an opportunity to network with so many different people from all across the country, all across the world. We had people from Australia there this year, Australia, Canada. I think we had someone from the UK. Like, it's just such a neat opportunity for people to kind of get outside of their standard. I go to the same show every year. I see the same people every year. It's a whole new kind of group and community that they can work together to learn from. And I just, again, it's all about us wanting to give back and just the education. I think there's so much value in providing education to people. And that's the thing that, it's very hard to quantify or put a number on, or, we keep our goal is to break even every year on this event. Like, we keep the cost of JobTread Connect as cheap as we possibly can. I think it was like $5.99. It was $4.99 for early bird, $5.99, for the regular price ticket. I mean, that, like, it's all of your food, travel to all venues we put on parties every night. And so, it's the goal is just to break even on these events. Like, we truly believe that this is the way that we can give back as best as possible to help everybody to grow and improve.
So there you guys have it, like, just full of resources, completely dedicated to the industry, such a passion, company built from a case study. Really, really just wanting to make an impact. I just loved what you said about really getting things in place so that you can make a bigger impact with those around you. I mean, that's our mission here at Tech Builder Marketers. Like our tool belt is marketing, but at the end of the day, we're trying to empower potential, build success, and, improve lives. And sounds like, you're in the same boat. Before we leave, I have a couple more questions for you. I'd love to know what final words of advice you have for tech builders who are trying to get out of the weeds and scale their business.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, you gotta take a little bit of time, take a step back, and understand where are your bottlenecks. Sit down with everyone on your team, sit down in every role, put on every hat. So as an estimator, where are my bottlenecks? Where am I getting hung up? Where are things, just not running as smoothly as you hoped or you think they should be? As a project manager, as a field crew, like, where are the challenges? Like, you need to understand where your challenges are and what is holding you back from scaling the business. Until you know your problems, you can't solve those problems. You have to know the problem first. So figure that out, and then once you figure that out, then you can go and start looking for solutions. And if you don't immediately know where to look or who to talk to, like, start networking. Tap into the peer networks, tap into, the communities that have been built. There's so many phenomenal communities that have been built around the deck building community. I mean, April, you got a phenomenal community. The whole, Deck Expo is an incredible community. We've got tons of deck builders. I mean, there's so many. I mean, every manufacturer has their own kind of, group of pros that are there connected. Like, network with people, ask for their advice. Learn from them. I mean, I've got my Builder Stories podcast. Every Wednesday I publish a new episode where, like, I'm just interviewing, builder after builder and asking them about their challenges, how they overcame it. Like, if you need, go hire a coach. There are people who have been there and have done that, and they can help you tremendously to skip over so many, roadblocks and hurdles and just kind of get past those things. So, I really encourage you to understand and then go seek out advice and learn from others so that you can make sure that you're addressing those challenges in the best way possible.
That's so well said. I think that a lot of people, especially when it comes to software, they feel like it's going to solve all their problems, but you completely said it. Like, you need to know what your problem is first. Right. I have a recommendation. I mean, I do this on a quarterly basis for my business. I have columns in a spreadsheet. I'm a spreadsheet nerd, but it doesn't matter. Write it down, and the areas of your business, like, vote from just 1 to 4 or whatever. Like, where do you rank yourself in those different areas of the business? And that visually will help you focus. Because I think as business owners, we are all ADHD, and we have a really hard time just, like, focusing on one thing because we know there's a million problems going on. But if you can do that and identify, is it, our customer service? Is it our production? Is it our sales? Is it our marketing that is the weakest? Then, okay, let's come up with a solution for this area. And then once we have that down, then we could go focus on the other things.
Yeah. 100%.
So just being intentional, I think, is the name of the game. So what for those that don't know or just are interested after hearing this, how could people get started? How could they learn more and get started with JobTread?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say just on our website, if you go to www, just scrolling across the screen there, we got a ton of resources. There's an outdoor living deck builder page. Tons of videos. I mean, our YouTube, I think we have over like 500 videos on our YouTube now. Tons of great webinars and content. I think it's, a lot of information out there. I'd be happy to have anyone reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm pretty accessible there. But I think at the end of the day, like, we'd love the opportunity to show you how we can help improve your business, with the software and the project management estimating solutions that we've got. But, April, I got to plug you for a second and what you all are doing, because I think at the end of the day, like, it's if companies aren't getting leads, or if they're not getting the right leads, then there's really nothing for JobTread to do here, And so, like, I tell people, like, the two number one things that people need when they come to us is they need marketing help and they need bookkeeping help. It's the front end and it's the back end. JobTread's going to help and everything in between, but like you really got to dial in your marketing. Like your website is your face. That is your company face. And if you want to deliver an exceptional customer experience, then you need to do it from the very moment that lead lands on your website. Like if you don't have a website today, like that's just mind boggling. And I can't remember of companies that sign up for JobTread that don't have a website. Like I don't even want to talk about going, but important that people find a marketing partner that can help them build that out. Like if you think about the cost to hire a full-time marketer for your business, like you're spending at least, somewhere between 75, 80, upwards, maybe $100,000 a year on somebody. And that person is, maybe they're great at like one or two facets of marketing, but at the end of the day, for you who can bring in expertise in every facet of marketing that you need to build out a phenomenal lead funnel that can help you attract the right leads, target the right people, probably start running some ads, get some, social marketing going, some social proof, create some video content, make sure all of your photos and videos, all of the work you're doing, like that is how you build a phenomenal business, is you load up that funnel. You need to have as many at-bats as you possibly can. That is the name of the game here. This is a volume-based game. And if you haven't gotten your marketing in order, then really like you're kind of wasting time. Like get that in place, and it is invaluable. The amount of money you spend on phenomenal marketing will make or break your year and your company. So take the time to find a partner like April who can help you do that. They're going to literally save you months or years of time. Like that is the number one most, like the number one factor. If you were to say, Eric, if you go look at all of your contractors, who are the most successful people, I'm going to go look at their websites and I'm going to look at their marketing and their processes that they've set up to attract the right customers. Are they showcasing their customers, their testimonials? Do they have videos on their website of their customers talking about their experience working with you? Like those factors right there, that will make or break your ability to build a very, very scalable business. If you can get the leads in, we can help you win the deals, estimate, send the proposal, close the deal, get it executed, operated, delivered, and then collect your money. But it all starts at the tip of the spear, which is marketing.
Wow. Thank you. I mean, it really, I appreciate that very much, because I spend a lot of time trying to educate, and how it really is kind of the pulse of your business and it feeds your business. It's just, people get worried because it's not a tangible thing that happens overnight, and they struggle to understand that if you put $1 in, and even if you get 30 out, that's a pretty good return on investment. And you have to put in the time or money. And I have a whole article on deckbuildermarketers.com about chasing unicorns. So what you said about hiring one marketer, I mean, if you don't know marketing, you're not going to really know how to hire somebody. Everybody's going to say that they know everything, especially young people. And I'm not like bashing them. It's just that, unfortunately, it's a field where people can watch some videos and claim that they know everything. And what makes a professional is somebody that's made all the mistakes and they know how to proactively prevent them to save you money and frustration in the long run. So
I mean, the difference is you have a team of people, and look, maybe when you're doing 15, 20 million, 10 million a year, whatever it is, like when you have hit big scale, great. You can go hire multiple people and build out your own marketing team. Awesome. Highly recommend it. That's great. But the reality is when you're going, from less than $1 million to getting to your 2 million, 3 million, like, yeah, you're not going to want to devote all of that capital to build out your own internal team. You can literally skip all of that and immediately go to the high level, quality marketing that you need to look like a $15, $20 million company, by hiring an agency, a marketing company who has a team. It doesn't, they don't need to be able to give you 100% of their full-time effort just for you, because they've done this so many times. It's very repeatable. It's the expertise that you're paying for. And so again, I can't recommend enough making sure that you put that in place as early as you possibly can. And it takes hiring the right company. You need somebody who understands your industry. There are so many marketing agencies out there. There are so many ad agencies. There are people who will come in and they will tell you that they can run digital ads, they can run social ads, they can do all of this stuff. But like, if they don't understand deck building, then they're not going to be the best, and they're not going to be able to get you where somebody like April and her team can, because they get it. They understand the exact product. They understand the target audience, and they can get you that local targeting like a generic marketing company might not be able to do.
Yeah, no, thank you. Again, I mean, there's a lot of agencies that just don't understand the level of luxury service that our guys are selling.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of trust in order to convince somebody to spend $100,000 with you. And having a simple like Facebook ad alone isn't going to do that. There's a lot of method to the madness. But
Yeah.
Eric, thank you. Thank you so much for your plug. I did put deckbuildermarketers.com/get-started. I offer a free marketing review and strategy session. I guarantee it'll be so valuable. I help you understand your benchmarks, goals, and reverse engineer a plan for you. I love these calls. It's a really great way to, to show you how much missed opportunity that you have. And then I'm going to put JobTread here as well. Go to jobtread.com. And what is the process for getting started? Is that like a demo or a consultation?
Yeah, so either one. If you go watch the videos yourself, awesome. You can just click the sign up button. That'll create your account. Or if you want to schedule a demo with one of our sales team members, they're happy to, spend 45 minutes, an hour on the phone with you, kind of walking you through what it would look like. So very easy. Both those options are right at the top of the website.
So you guys make it really easy for them. So check it out, you guys. Don't miss out on this. I'll tell you, it's a key differentiator as well. I mean, if you could put a video together that shows all your amazing work and introduces people to your crew, and then walks them through the amazing process that they're going to have by utilizing this software, it's really going to help you stand out, you guys. Plus, of course, save a ton of frustration and headaches. And what I learned today is increase your margins too. So definitely check it out, Eric. You've been a fabulous guest. Thank you so much. Really, we'll probably have to do this again. Maybe do a little JobTread Connect recap for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's really neat. And one thing to kind of just also throw out there, like the way that you guys have been able to integrate all of the marketing flow into JobTread, super helpful. So it just seamlessly creates the customers, the jobs directly in JobTread. Like it just really makes the whole handoff from marketing to sales to operations very seamless, which is super cool. And the last thing I'll say too, like for any of you guys that are wondering, like JobTread, super affordable. It's $199 a month. Plus $20 for each additional like internal users, so employees. So like this is like a nominal drop in the bucket for what your total cost should be for the business. Our goal, and this is our third year, we haven't increased our price. Like our goal is to keep JobTread as affordable as we possibly can. This is how we can truly set the standard for the entire industry by getting this into tens of thousands, eventually hundreds of thousands of contractors all around the world. So we're very passionate about that. And that, everything else is included with your subscription. You get a dedicated customer success manager who will literally help you get your templates set up, get everything imported, get everything up and running, as quickly as possible. So we are happy and would love the opportunity to work with you and help you with your business.
Amazing. Awesome. Eric, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being on. And if anybody has any questions, you can reach out. You can ping me on social media at the Deck Builder Marketers handles anywhere. And I'm sure the same with JobTread. Great to have you. And yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew there was something else I wanted to say. You guys are at like every event, right? I mean, you guys go to all the events. So if you guys want to go and meet these people in person, and Eric speaks too, and check out the software, I'm sure any event that you go to, they're going to be there. And so I can't plug that enough. You guys always have a great booth with computers everywhere to like demo everything. Yep. And I'm sure you guys close a lot of business there because you just do a really great job.
Absolutely. We love the face-to-face. It'd be great to shake your hand, give you a hug, come by. Love to meet face-to-face anytime.
Great. All right. Over and out. So actually, let me just do an official handoff here. So if you are a deck builder that is tired of flying by the seat of your pants, you've got to check out JobTread. it really can be a game changer that can help you scale. And even if you're not looking to scale, it's just going to make your life so much easier. So to find out more, again, just go to jobtread.com. And if you want to talk about marketing, how to generate more leads, feed your business, and take a system that you can actually handle to new levels to feed the business and get you the type of leads that you want, head over to deckbuildermarketers.com and book a free strategy session with me. And as always, until next time, keep moving forward. Thank you.